All right, everybody. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Welcome to the live show. If you're new here, my name is Matt Arts. I am the owner and editor-in-chief of HalloweenDailyNews.com. And this is Michael Myers Monday, our weekly live broadcast and our live discussion on all things Michael Myers and the Halloween movie franchise, and our time to plug in with the best fans of the greatest franchise of them all, of course, the Halloween franchise. And if you're a returning viewer, then welcome back, guys. I'm happy to be here. Today is Monday, February 1st, 2021, the first Monday of February. And I did the math for you. We've got 36 more Mondays until the release of Halloween Kills. So a lot to cover between now and then. So how's everybody doing tonight? Happy Michael Myers Monday. What's up, Phil? Phil, good to have you back. We got Tootie Bo Adri. Thank you for tuning in as well. And I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I hope you can hear me well. Quick disclaimer, we are having some pretty rough weather tonight. So if we lose connection or there's any technical difficulties, like I've said before, the plan A will be I'll try to resume this feed if at all possible. And plan B will be to launch a new stream, and I'll put the link to that in the description of this video. And plan C will be look for an explanation on the social media, because it might just not be if it gets to that point. But it looks like we're good so far, and hopefully you guys can hear me all right and see everything all right. Looks like our connection is good so far. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. We don't have a ton to talk about tonight, but I do have a few items. And the first is this. We talked about it last week, and I told you last week that I hoped to have one in hand by this week, and it did arrive the very next day, actually. And it was Tuesday. I think it arrived, maybe Wednesday. But this is the officially licensed The Legend of Halloween illustrated children's book adaptation of Halloween 1978. It's an adaptation of the original screenplay by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. So this is my show and tell for the week, and I've written my review. I've published it on HalloweenDailyNews.com, as well as on the most recent episode of the Halloween show. So I'm not going to give you word for word my review again. Hopefully, if you're interested, you read it or have listened to it. Needless to say, I love the book, of course. I love the project idea as soon as it was announced. And it did not disappoint. I did read it cover to cover. It's a short read. It's 56 pages, and it is an adaptation of the first film. And it's most of all the key scenes are in there. And again, I'm not going to flip through every single page for you here. That would be ridiculous. And I'm not going to go over my entire review. But the gist of what I went into this with, and I mentioned this last week, if you remember, my biggest question going in was, is this a kid's book, or is it more for adults and kind of a novelty collector's item? And the answer I arrived at might be cliche, but it's true. It does depend on the kid and the parents, of course. But it's not going to be for really young kids. Kids on the verge of entering into where they might be ready for the actual Halloween 78 film. Yes, this could be a good Halloween read, maybe a year or two before that. Again, depending on the kid, though, they might, if they're ready for this book, they might be ready for the film. And I said as much in my review, pretty much. But who is it for? I mean, it is kid-friendly to an extent. that you have to understand that it is a book about an escaped lunatic killing people. It is a book about murder. So there's that. But it's for the collectors mainly, of course. It's for people like me that are gonna have this on the shelf, and it is a fun read to see this kind of retold, reimagined. It's not even a reimagining so much as it's just it's a different way to present the legend that we all know, and that's what it comes down to. Is it is just a different, uh, you know, a different presentation. It does still have the murders, but they're handled. I mean, even in the original film, it's not like it's very gory, but it does have all the murders in there. If you've got questions as far as like what from the movie is actually in the book, I mean, most of it's there. If you've got any specific questions, I can try to answer that. But the book, collectors like myself and people that have seen this movie many times, it is pretty nostalgic in a way to read this in a different way. It's nostalgic because it feels like something we've read and seen before, because we've watched the movie 8 million times. But, it's still presented in this different way. And also it's nostalgic because the animation style, and again, this book written by David Gordon Green, of course, director of Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. And it's co-written by David and Uter Tikel, and Tikel actually did the illustrations on the book. And the illustrations, I'll let you see. Hopefully you can see that. I'll tell you what I will do. I will pull up. We looked at this last week. This is a shot of the cover and one of the pages that was published in Entertainment Weekly when this was first announced last October, this past October, this most recent October. And as you can see, the animation, I called it kind of reminiscent of Schoolhouse Rock. Definitely kind of the early 80s, late 70s animation style. What's up, Alan Postscript in the house? Good to see you, my man. Thank you for joining us tonight. So you can see the animation that Tikel does. And again, that's another reason why it felt very nostalgic to me to read this. I'll show you another 2 images that were published in Entertainment Weekly back in October. It gives you an idea of how this book kind of reinterprets the story, but it's not even, like I said, it's not even so much a reinterpretation or reimagining. It's just a new way to present it. It's almost like presenting it in a in comic books like we've seen. This is another version of that, only not quite a comic book. The writing is very, I don't know. I felt it was very Dr. Seuss like. Very simple rhymes, very, about 4 lines per page. Like I said, a quick read, quick and easy, light read. But they do pack a lot in there as far as the elements of the story that they're able to work in. And it is fun seeing how they do it. And it's done in almost this almost innocent way that, Carpenter's film, it is so, filled with dread from the very beginning after Judith's death. So anyway, I would highly recommend the book. Last I checked, they were actually sold out on Amazon, but you can still get them at legendofhalloween.com through the publishing company Shopify. And by the way, this book is published by Further Front Publishing, and I want to thank them because they're the ones that sent us this copy. And again, you can see the cover there. You've got all your principal cast members: Lori, Loomis, Brackett, Annie, Linda, and the kids, Tommy and Lindsay, and of course Michael. Here's the back cover. You can check that out. Okay. So, yeah, this is going to be a collector's item. This is totally going to be one of those things that when it's out of print 20 years from now, 30 years from now, people are going to be really trying to find this. The way it originated, it was really going to be a piece of memorabilia because it actually originated as a gift to the cast and crew when Halloween Kills wrapped filming back in the fall of 2019. And David Gordon Green put it together then for the cast and crew, and it turned out so well. He and I guess the guys at Trancas, Malik Akkad and Ryan Freeman, they decided, hey, let's make this available to the fans. This is something pretty cool. And David Gordon Green said in his interview with Entertainment Weekly that when he put it together, he had his twin boys, who are 9 years old, in mind as a way to kind of introduce them to the classic story. Which I could totally see, around age 8 or 9, this being useful. I said in my review, my son, he's 13 now. I think he was about 9. I think he was 9 on the Halloween that we let him watch the first Halloween for the first time. And but as I said in my review, this is my son. He grew up in a house where Michael Myers is very a constant on the walls and the shelves and everywhere. And he kind of knows how movies and scary movies are made and was raised on that stuff. So it might be a little young for some kids. Like I said, if they don't know what death is yet, then they might not be ready for this. There's going to be some questions. But the biggest thing that makes it a little less kid-friendly, in my opinion, is just a few of the phrases, the word choices. Like I said, for the most part, it's a very simple, fun, easy to read that but then you'll come across a word like voyeuristic, which it is very clever and witty how they use it in the rhyme. But I can see, younger kids, wondering, even a 9-year-old, maybe what does voyeuristic mean? Like, that's kind of a big word. Not that they can't learn the meaning of that word at that age, but and then there's a few other references like the word Warhol, as in the late artist Andy Warhol. And again, I think for a certain generation that's going to be a neat reference, but for a lot of people, kids especially, a lot of adults my age, that's not really going to hit with them. And even Casey at the Bat, which I had to Google and look up, it rang familiar a little bit. But using stuff like that, I just think obviously not for the kid audience, and they had to have known that. But there's also going to be a few thematic themes that kids are going to ask questions, like when Paul wants to, quote, get it on with Annie. Now, they're not talking quite as adult as they're talking in the film, but I still think, any curious kid is going to immediately, what does that mean? What does get it on me? Stuff like that. But, again, for mature kids around 9 or 10, yes, I think it could absolutely, again, they might be almost ready for the film anyway, but this could be kind of a precursor, a soft introduction to the overall mythology. And I got thinking about it because I was like, well, the downside to that is then they don't experience the film itself first, the way we did, right? But then I start thinking about so many stories, like Dracula and Frankenstein and even King Kong and Godzilla. Like, was my very first exposure to those stories the original film versions or the original books? And the answer, I don't remember, but I'm sure it's not. And, it wasn't the original Dracula and Frankenstein. I don't know the first time I saw those characters, but it was probably, as I was thinking about it this past week, introduced to me in things like Scooby-Doo episodes of the late 70s and early 80s. Scooby-Doo episodes. Cartoons. I think that's where, I know my son got really familiar with the Wolfman and Jekyll and Hyde and the Frankenstein story through animated movies about the chipmunks, Alvin and the Chipmunks. And that was part of his introduction. We also schooled him, like I said, because it's our house, on the old classic black and white Universal movies when we felt he was the right age. But I guess my point is, it is conceivable, yes, that certain kids, who are ready for death in their fairy tales, and there are a lot of death and evil, unexplainable evil, even in some of our old school fairy tales. I was thinking about that recently too. I recently watched a movie based on Red Riding Hood, and I finally watched Gretel and Hansel that was released last year. If you guys haven't seen that one's on Prime now. It's awesome, but it's not Michael Myers. But that got me thinking that these stories, they go so far back, and there's evil in those stories, and they were told to us as children for generations and generations. And I do think that Michael Myers, I've said it before, just to kind of bring this home, and sorry if I'm giving you too much of the review that you've already heard, but I do feel like that Michael Myers is one of those characters, like Red Riding Hood, like Dracula and Frankenstein, that is going to go on for generation after generation after generation. It's going to be reinterpreted. The movies will be around long after their creators are gone. And there'll be other iterations of this legend. And so in that respect, I do totally think that this can stand the test of time. And for mega fans and just, fans of the franchise, it is going to be a really sought after collectible. I know they're going to enjoy the little details that are in it from the film. Like I said, for the very most part, it is pretty faithful in its retelling. How does that look? Excuse me. But if you got any questions about it, let me know. Like I said, I think they've still got them available at legendofhalloween.com. They might be back available on Amazon by now. I did not check today. I apologize for that. I should have. But, I highly recommend it. I think they're retailing for around $25, and they only printed a few. I don't know what a few is. I imagine probably 10, 20,000, 25,000 maybe. Maybe if that many. I don't know. They'll probably go to a second printing because, like I said, they sold out Amazon before they even really went on sale on the first day. I think they sold out with pre-orders. So, what's up, Sammy? Says such a cool item. Yes. Yeah, it's such a cool thing. And like I said, for collectors like myself that just, I started collecting Michael Myers things. Last week I had that Jimmy animatronic, that mini animatronic, the 14-inch. And I talked about getting that around 2009. And you got to remember, prior to the Rob Zombie films being released, there was so little Michael Myers and officially licensed merchandise available out there. Like, I think we forget about that because we're so, I don't want to say spoiled, but I mean, we are spoiled in a way now because there's so much Myers merch out there. And this is just the officially licensed stuff. And then there's the indie artists doing their own things out there that aren't necessarily licensed by Trancas. But I mean, between the t-shirts and the figures now and all the different, now they're, all the different films are getting made into figures, which is great. And Trick or Treat doing all the different masks, every version. And yeah, I love that. But it wasn't that long ago, guys, that there wasn't really a whole lot. And it was kind of conceivable in, around the time that the first zombie movie came out in 07, that you could say, well, maybe it is conceivable I could own all the Myers stuff, the officially licensed stuff. And and so I remember kind of thinking that at a certain point that this is doable. It's not like even Jason where there's so much stuff, or some of these other franchises over the years, or like Star Wars. I love Boba Fett, but there's so much Boba Fett stuff. And this was before Mandalorian and all that. So, but Michael Myers, but now in 2021, it's nothing like that. We got so much stuff. And most of the 2021 stuff hasn't even been announced, but so this is a cool way to kick off the year, and like I said, it's a fun little piece of nostalgia, even though it's new and refreshing at the same time. I just feel like the way it's presented, it almost feels like a Schoolhouse Rock Saturday morning cartoon retelling the Halloween '78 story. So, for what it's worth, I recommend it. You guys, if you've seen it, let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm not gonna show the whole thing, but I mean, you could just see there's, like, I don't know if you can see that, but that's Loomis and his clipboard, and right there, you can see the Michael's middle name of Aubrey is correctly noted right there. I was going to say the inconsistency is the only thing, because of course we got a nitpick on what they didn't get right. The only thing I found that didn't exactly come in order actually was at the end of the story when when Laurie sends the kids to go get help down the street. In the book, I believe they have it happening after the closet scene and not before, or they have it happening before the closet scene instead of after. Anyway, they just had that out of order, and but other than that, it's all pretty much there. Sammy says, "Is there a limited run on these? I missed a few minutes." Yes, there. I don't know what the number is. I do know it's a limited run right now that they've got printed. Now they might get a second printing. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because I think these are selling really well. But yeah, I know there's not many out right now, and like I said, last I checked, they were sold out on the Amazon link. But you can order them through Shopify right now at legendofhalloween.com. Ken Leshy Zarish. Sup, bro? What's up, Ken? Thank you for being here, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Let's just all pause and enjoy the fact that it's another month down. I mean, next week, in 2 weeks, we're going to be what is it, 7 months away from Halloween Kills? Or is it 8 months? I guess it's 8 months, right? Yeah, because we're in October. But we're in February now. So, and yes, sir, same to you. Yes, sir. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Alan's wondering, how does it show the kills? Not too graphically. It's very similar to the movie. It's very suggestive, but it is. Let me see if I can find an example. The Judith kill, for example. Judith is in there, and there's not actual nudity, and there's not actual stabbing, but that can just give you a little idea, And again, I mean, at first glance, is every kid going to immediately grasp that red dripping down over here is blood, or could be construed as blood? I don't know if they're going to, a lot of kids aren't even going to see that right away. My horror-loving eye immediately sees that. But yeah, it's done as innocently as murder can be depicted. Let's put it that way. Let's see if we can. here's a cool shot of some scenes that we didn't actually see in the film. And I'll just show that to you for a minute. That's Michael in the hardware store, in Nichols' hardware store, where he steals, some ropes and knives and rope knives and Halloween masks. Well, they actually depict that scene on a page in here. They also depict him putting on the jumpsuit, and after finding the red Phelps garage truck that we only kind of see the aftermath of in the '78 film, and even only we the viewers, see the murdered guy, the driver. And so you get to see some of those scenes of Michael, doing things. You get to see him carrying Judith's tombstone away from the cemetery, which we didn't see. So a little bit more from Michael's point of view. Again, how the murders are done. Again, I would just say it's set up. Like the Annie, it's Michael startling her, but it's done with a big splash inside the car. See? And you can kind of see where it's going, and then you don't see. It's Annie grabs the car keys, sits down and starts the engine. In the rearview mirror, something bad gets her attention. And we see it's Michael with this giant butcher knife. Next he's carrying her off to the house. A quick... I'll go ahead and read you one more passage. A quick swipe of his brutal blade severs flesh and bone. Michael plans some arts and crafts with that big headstone. He's making a motif with the Judith headstone and with the jack-o'-lantern and with Annie's dead body, of course. There's some cool Easter eggs in there. Even Boombox Boy from Halloween 2 is in there at a certain point. The dialogue that they have in there, some of it is exact from the movie, but a lot of it is they kind of paraphrase a little bit. But they do work in some of the classic shots. Bob getting impaled. You get to see Michael. They can't really quite pull off the head tilt. One scene that I was kind of surprised is not in there, because they do manage to get like pretty much the entire movie in there. But one scene I was kind of surprised it wasn't in there is the iconic shot of when Laurie bumps into Brackett and he says the famous line of "Everyone's entitled to one good scare." That's not actually in there for some reason, unless I'm having a brain fart right now and forgetting about it. But no, I'm pretty sure it's not in there. So yeah. Alan says, awesome. Phil says, I like that book. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty great. Ken says, I heard they're going to rate it R. The new film? You mean the new Halloween Kills are going to rate it R? Yeah. It's definitely, it's already received its rating, actually, which is pretty, it's pretty weird, honestly, that the movie is so complete. It's done. Completely done. The score is done. The film and the theatrical cut is locked because they've already received their R rating. And yet we're still, 8 months away. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, it's definitely rated R. A few weeks ago, we went over the exact reasons for the rating. No PG-13 Halloweens, Alan says. Yeah, that probably wouldn't go over as well I mean, I think the irony is that the original movie could almost be rated PG-13 by today's standards. There's so little uh, blood and graphicness in there. I mean, the most brutal stuff is those strangulation scenes when he's strangling Annie in the car and then later strangling Linda with the phone cord. I think because it really does kind of linger on those scenes for a while. They're kind of painful to watch, and I think that, if anything, would keep that as a rated R. But yeah, it's got to be with a title of Halloween Kills. It's got to be rated R for them to deliver what they're promising. When did we get that rating? That was actually back in December. Yes, it was officially rated R, and by the Motion Picture Association, and their reasoning specifically was, quote, strong, bloody violence throughout, grisly images, language, and some drug use. So, no nudity though, so if you were hoping for a shower scene or something, that's not going to be happening in this one. But speaking of Halloween Kills, while we're on that for just a minute, if anybody didn't see, just real quick, because I still got it loaded, there's that first official shot of the shape from Halloween Kills, published earlier this month, or published earlier last month, January, about a month ago now, in Total Film magazine. And then, of course, we got the second shot, courtesy of Empire magazine, just about a week ago. And there's the crop of that. Yeah, Halloween Kills. All right. So anyway, I think, gosh, did I talk all that time just about the book? Anyway, if you guys got any other questions about the book, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Like I said, I love it, but if that's a surprise to you, then you haven't been watching. But yeah, I think fans of the franchise are going to get a kick out of it, like I did. I mean, because it really was kind of fun turning the page and see each time how they would illustrate certain things. And like I said, with that Amy kill, having it be a big splash of all 2 pages, and the interior of the car is red, so it's not exactly like there's never actually blood depicted, but there is blood. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that opening shot of, or even the cover where, is that blood dripping down from the top? Yeah, I think it is. But at the same time, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just red ink or, yeah. But yeah, I thought it was really clever and fun how they put that together. And I'm glad that they did make it available for us fans. All right, just real quick, I'm just going to go over a couple things that, just a couple other small little news things. One, of course, is that yesterday was our buddy James Jude Courtney's birthday. And hopefully y'all wished him a happy birthday through social media or whatever. I was actually, I sent him a text yesterday and wished him happy birthday, and was happy to wake up this morning and see his reply that he's doing well, and we're hopefully going to be doing more together soon. And I wanted to bring up this photo. I shared it yesterday, but that's me and the man himself, James G. Courtney, of course, Michael Myers in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills and the upcoming Halloween Ends. And that photo was our first face-to-face meeting. Our first conversation was an interview almost exactly 3 years ago. Believe it or not, it was almost 3 years ago. It was February of 2018 that I first interviewed James over the phone, and then we met face to face in October 2018, right before the premiere of the film. He hadn't seen it yet at that point. I hadn't seen it. And that was in Pasadena at the 40 Years of Terror event. Sue, my wife, took that photo, and that's me and James. And that was his first convention appearance. Of course, in the almost 3 years since then, he has been around the world and back at conventions and making appearances. And yeah. I don't want to say too much because I don't like to jinx things before they happen. But I will say that we are going to have some... I've talked to a few people this week, let's put it that way, about doing some interviews in the upcoming weeks. And so that's going to be happening very soon. Some people that you know from this franchise, some that maybe I've interviewed before, and maybe it's going to be a follow-up. Some that maybe I've never interviewed before, and it's going to be a new conversation for me. And maybe that's going to be here live. Maybe it's going to be a pre-recorded video. That will kind of leave up to them. But again, I don't really want to name names specifically. I think if you read between the lines, you kind of know, you can figure out a little bit what I'm talking about. One of them is actually from the cast of Halloween 78. And again, as I've said before, I'm a little superstitious about saying things before they're a done deal. So I'm not going to name the name, but you can probably figure it out if you go to the interview section of HalloweenDailyNews.com and look at all the cast members from the 78 film that I've already interviewed. And you can go ahead and eliminate Donald Pleasance and Jamie Lee Curtis because it's not either of them. But beyond that, and that's not the only person, but that's a person that I heard from just today that we're going to be setting up an interview in the coming weeks. And then there's another person that you're definitely going to want to hear from, and that's going to be coming up very soon too. And I know I keep saying stuff like that, and I've been kind of vague about it, and you're probably like, yeah, whatever. But I feel like if I start saying names, and then you're going to be like, well, why it's been 6 months? Why hasn't that happened? And maybe the interview happened, but maybe it wasn't published. And so anyway, all that, I'm getting off the subject, but I just want to say that, yes, things are in the works here at HGN headquarters. There are going to be some new interviews coming up. Also, down the road, there's going to be interviews with specifically some people that you may or may not know that I know are involved with Halloween Kills that I've already been in contact with. And again, I'm not going to name any names and say anything right now because I just don't want to jinx anything. I feel like I might have already said too much, but I think you guys get where I'm coming from with all this. So, stay tuned, I guess is what I'm saying. So anyway, just back on James real quick. Yeah, I interviewed him in early 2018, and it was my pleasure to have an extended conversation with him. I urge you to check out that interview at HalloweenDailyNews.com in the interview section. If you haven't already, we've also got numerous videos of him from this event, this H40 40 Years of Terror event, as well as from Mad Monster Party a few years ago, and talking about playing Michael Myers. And I love his portrayal. I've said it before a million times. I know you guys do too. I thought he did a great job as Michael Myers. I loved how he approached it from an artistic standpoint, and I just loved Loved his physicality, and yeah, I've been very fortunate to meet almost all of the men that have played Michael Myers over the years, and I've been even more fortunate to actually get to interview the majority of them. Pretty much all of the adult Myers from all of the films, and they're all amazing and awesome men and gentlemen, and I love them all. James is very different. He is unlike any of them. His brain does not work like them, and I love it. He's just one of my favorite people to talk to. He's one of the smartest guys out there, and just a real great good guy. So happy birthday, James Jude Courtney. If of course he's out there watching, right? It's Michael Myers Monday, right? Nah. But yeah, you guys wish James happy birthday if you haven't already, because he's awesome. All right. Also, just real quick, speaking of Michael Myers and speaking of Mad Monster Party, our friends at Mad Monster Party, that's coming up later this month in just a few weeks. And fittingly, today, for Michael Myers Monday, Mad Monster announced their latest guest is Tyler Mane. Of course, Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween 07 and Halloween 2 09. And Mad Monster Party is happening on February 19th, 20th, and 21st in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's actually in Concord, North Carolina this year, which is still kind of the Charlotte area. But tickets are on sale now. They are going to be observing all of the COVID safety protocols. Masks will be required, and not just your Michael mask. You know what I mean? There's only going to be certain capacity limits, and a certain number of vendors, and I believe like one-way aisles. Look, Mad Monster, like I said, we spent some time with James Jude Courtney in 2019. We were there. We had an amazing time with PJ Souls the last year in 2020. It's our favorite annual convention. Unfortunately, it looks like for a number of reasons, we're probably not going to be able to attend this year's event here in North Carolina. It's a combination of just a number of factors. COVID one, but also financial situations here with our family. My wife recently underwent a major surgery and is still she's pretty much recovered, but we're all still dealing with that and just kind of trying to take things slow with that, and just a lot of stuff going on. We have our 13-year-old son, and have to consider that as well. So we're probably not going to be making the trip out there to the west side of the state this year for Mad Monster Party. I'm kind of torn up about it. I wish we could. On the other hand, it's still scary. We're still under a modified stay-at-home order here in the state, so it's a tough thing. But I know Eben and his crew and everybody at Mad Monster, they are the best at what they do. And they are the best. And they are going to, knock it out of the park, I'm sure, and do the best with what they have and what they are allowed to do. So, all that said, I was very happy to see that they added Tyler Mane to their 2021 lineup. Phil says he hopes to meet James someday. Ken says, nice. Sammy says he's super friendly to the fans. Yes, James is awesome. Super friendly, super nice guy. And Phil says at one of the convention Days of the Dead or Flashback Weekend. Yeah, Flashback Weekend, I actually wore my Flashback shirt last week. That was another great con that we love. But Mad Monster, that's kind of our home convention, we consider it. It's the one here in North Carolina, and it's the one we've been to the most times. And but yeah, we love Flashback Weekend now. They treated us like royalty in 2015, and they put on their own little Halloween reunion there. and of course all the organizers. I just was mentioning the H40 40 Years of Terror event in Pasadena, Sean Clark and Horrorhound and everybody involved with that. Uh, Totally, knocked it out of the park with that. But that's such a monumental thing. That's not even, I don't even count that as ranking the annual events, because that's a once in 5 years event. And that one specifically, I think, was a once in 40 years event. I don't know that they'll bring that many franchise stars back, even if they do a 45th. Maybe for a 50th anniversary. But I hate to say it, but I mean, not all of them may be around then. I mean, I hate to, it's a downer to think about that. But some of those guys are, and women are, they're getting up there in the years. So God bless them. Um, so, anyway, on to happier things. Yeah, one other little news item. Is that all I got? I think that's all I was. You might have saw earlier today, also for Michael Myers Monday, Danielle Harris shared a couple behind the scenes photos from Halloween 5. And here's one of them. There you see, that's little Danielle, somewhere around 1989. And Don Shanks there is the Shape. And they're playing around. She shared 2 other photos at the same time. And one was them playing around again. Don Shanks is kind of holding a knife up to her throat. And then another one is Don all long-haired and unmasked with Danielle. And they're out of costume. And they're with young Jeffrey Landman. And now I'm forgetting. Now I'm forgetting the girl's name that played Tina. What? Help me out, guys. Wendy Kaplan. Yeah, Wendy. So, yeah, you want to check that out. Yeah, I'd never seen those H5 pics either, Sammy. That's a pretty, that film, we know that there's stuff that has been left unseen from that film. And we know that there's deleted scenes that were, at least I heard, we all heard that they uncovered some deleted scenes. I've interviewed Don Shanks about some of those deleted scenes, and he's also talked to HalloweenMovies.com about that. So there's a lot of stuff from Halloween 5 that hasn't seen the light of day. But yeah, I love that Danielle shared these pics today, and they look great, and I just wanted to share that. I saw that she's doing a virtual Q&A this month on February 13th with Wizard World, and when I first saw it, I was thinking, oh great, maybe it'll be a thing kind of like GalaxyCon did with Carpenter, and it is. It's just it's actually for Hatchet though. It's a Hatchet cast event with Kane Hodder and Danielle, and actually I guess it'd be a Hatchet 2/Hatchet 3 event. I guess Danielle wasn't in part 1, but so that's February 13th. But yeah, I like that behind the scenes shot, and thought that was cool. Right on time for Michael Myers Monday. All right, so that's what I got for this week, guys. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. But yeah, like I said, I plan to be back here next week, and we'll dig into it some more, and we'll see what other news flows from about the franchise over the next few days. Phil asked, do you ever come out for one of these shows in Chicago? Yes, Phil, we did come to Flashback in Chicago in 2015. We haven't been back since then, but we loved it. We loved Flashback, and that specific year was a Halloween franchise. It was kind of a mini reunion itself. They had a ton of Michael Myers performers. Eric Preston was there, I remember, who played young Michael in H4, as well as George Wilbur, Don Shanks, Dick Warlock, Nick Castle, Tommy Lee Wallace. They were all there. Charles Cyphers was there. Gosh, yeah. I was wearing the shirt last week, actually. I was like, because that's they actually did a variation of the Halloween 2 pumpkin splitting into reveal the skull underneath on their shirt. This shirt, speaking of which, while I'm pumping all the cons that we love most, this is Horror's Hallowed Grounds, Sean Clark's show, but as you can see, that is the Halloween 2018. That was kind of their working logo when they were filming. So this shirt is actually from the 40 Years of Terror event in 2018 in Pasadena. And it was a 2-day convention, and on the Friday before that, it was the Horror's Hallowed Grounds Halloween filming locations tour, where it's about 5 different buses, hundreds of us piled onto these buses, and went around Pasadena and saw the filming locations of Halloween 78, and as well as many of the locations from Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, and even a couple from Rob Zombie's Halloween 07. So, again, talking about H4O, where that shot of me and James was taken, fittingly, that's where this shirt came from. So another great time. So yeah, Mad Monster Party, Flashback Weekend, yeah, both put on amazing shows every year. Good people. And yeah, the 40 Years of Terror convention people, like I said, Sean Clark and the guys that run Horror Hound, they knocked it out of the park with that one. And I know that they knocked it out of the park with the 25 and the 30 and the 35 Years of Terror, but we weren't there, so I can't say from experience, but I can say from the 2018 event, yeah, it was monumental. And I've got some stories from that maybe I'll tell sometime, but there's some stories that I probably won't ever tell because it's just there's some good memories that will have to stay between me and some of our favorite people that you know well, but I can't tell you about right now. But just imagine sharing drinks after hours with a couple of your favorite Michael Myers actors and getting the unfiltered, off the record truth about everything you ever wanted to know about playing Michael Myers. Yeah, it was that good. On that note, again, you guys are getting me to say way more tonight than I should probably be saying. So anyway, Jeffrey's super chill dude. Yes, Sammy. Yes, he is. Jeffrey is awesome. Again, I interviewed him over the phone at first. We became kind of social media friends over a few years, and then it was that, again, 2018, where we finally met in person for the first time. Really hope we can be a guest at some cons later this year. Yeah, I hear you, Sammy. I'm hoping, like I said, the first one out the gate this year does appear to be Mad Monster Party here in North Carolina. And if anybody can do a quality show in the safest way possible and still give you the convention experience that you're there for, I do think it's Mad Monster. I'll vouch for them all day long. They're awesome. And like I said, if I could work it out, and there's still the tiniest chance that it might work out that we'll be there, but more than likely this year, probably not. But yeah, I'm hoping that we can get back to cons. And yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. It's almost been 3 years since 2018. That means damn, we're only 2 years away from the 45th anniversary, which might mean 45 years of terror, which might mean another trip back out to California and back out to Pasadena for another reunion event, which would just be great, and we'd love for that to happen. And then we can connect with all you guys. That was one of the coolest things about that 2018 event, was connecting with so many people that knew Halloween Daily News. They may not know my face, or they may, but when we said we're with Halloween Daily News, so many people would come, oh man, I read you, oh man, I've been following you on this, oh, Michael Myers Monday, you reposted me here, and you shared this here, and oh man. Yeah, it was great. It was a really gratifying experience for me personally, for my wife and I, just, because we do put a lot of work and effort into keeping Halloween Daily News going every day, all the time. And so to get that feedback, and to connect with some people that, either we didn't know or only knew through social media, it was pretty awesome. And then, the fact that it was the most Michael Myers performers ever under one roof at one time, ever. The largest assembly of franchise alumni ever. I mean, it was, yeah. Yeah, and you can search our channel, too, for all of our 40 Years of Terror H4O coverage. We've got videos from the Halloween 2018 panel, which David Gordon Green was at, which Nick Castle crashed at one point unexpectedly. I've even got the candid video of Nick Castle running over to James's table at the very beginning of day one and welcoming him, because it was James' first ever convention. And we were standing right there, and I just hit record as Nick was welcoming James to convention life. And of course, on a larger scale, to being Michael Myers. So all that's on our channel right now. You can find those videos anytime. And there's other footage from that event. There's also panels. We covered the Halloween 78 panel and the Halloween 2 panel. And lots of other stuff. We interviewed a lot of the guys and girls from all the films at that event. And you can find those interviews, again, in the interview section at HalloweenDailyNews.com. All right, guys. It looks like I've been yapping for about an hour already. I can't believe it's already been an hour. If you're still awake out there and I haven't put you to sleep yet, then congratulations. You deserve a prize. All right, guys. Let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, mark your calendars. Plan to join me next Monday, same time, same channel. Also got a new episode of the Halloween show coming this Friday. They premiere at 10:30 a.m. on Friday mornings. And just a heads up, about to dig in to the new Spooky Town 2021 Halloween Village collection. I know it's not Myers, it's not franchise stuff, but they got some awesome stuff in there. All right, Sammy, thank you. You have a great week too, all you guys. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. As always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notifications so that you get notified whenever we're going live or we schedule one of these. I'm trying to schedule it a little bit further out now. Like I said, keep in the air, keep watching our social media. I'll let you know when our future guests can be announced, because that's going to be very exciting here coming soon. And I'd love if you'd like this video and share it if you know other like-minded people who might want to come and join the conversation from time to time. And you can always find out more about everything I've talked about at our main website, HalloweenDailyNews.com. And let's see what else. Make sure you're following us on all the other socials, the tweets and the fake books and the gram, all that stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. I had a good time. I hope you did. Phil, you have a good week as well. Sammy, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I totally appreciate it. As always, I'm Mad Arts with Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching, and happy Michael Myers Monday.